If you value truth over comfortable lies, hit that like and hype buttons immediately. Subscribe to this channel and tell me in the comments what city you're watching from. I want to know where my strongest, most aware men are tuning in tonight. Picture her 3 months after the breakup. New apartment, new routine, new peace. She meditates now, she tells everyone. Yoga classes, book clubs, girls' nights. The perfect independent woman who finally found herself. But watch closely at 2 a.m. when she thinks no one's looking. The same fingers that deleted your number still type it halfway before stopping. The same eyes that claimed relief still search your social media like archaeology, scrolling through months of your life she wasn't part of. Because she won't text, she won't confess, but the truth leaks through her habits, the tiny signs that she left your life, not her attachment. If you value truth over comfortable lies, hit that like and hype buttons immediately. Subscribe to this channel and tell me in the comments what city you're watching from. I want to know where my strongest, most aware men are tuning in tonight. She told you it was over. She acted confident, detached, even happy. But regret doesn't always cry. Sometimes it reorganizes itself into silence, observation, and subtle return patterns. Let's decode the 8 signs she feels it, even if she'll never say it out loud. She stays quiet but never fully disappears. She stops calling, stops texting, stops reaching out directly. Radio silence becomes her new policy, her way of proving she's moved on completely. But somehow she's still there, hovering at the edges of your digital world like a ghost who can't leave the house. She watches your stories within minutes of posting, views your updates, but never reacts, checks your location if you still share it, then pretends she didn't. This isn't coincidence. This is emotional surveillance disguised as casual curiosity. She wants to stay informed about your life without admitting she cares about your life. The watching gives her a sense of connection without the vulnerability of actual contact. She's monitoring your emotional state, your social activities, your potential romantic interests, gathering information she has no right to anymore. Notice how she never unfollows you completely. She could block you, delete you, erase every trace of your existence from her digital world. But she doesn't. Instead, she creates this strange middle ground where she can observe without participating. She's close enough to know what you're doing, far enough away to maintain her story about being over you. The psychology here is simple, but revealing. She wants to know you're thinking about her without having to risk you not thinking about her. The silent watching is her way of staying in your orbit while protecting her pride. She gets the emotional benefit of connection without the risk of rejection. Watch for the patterns. She views your content at odd hours, when she thinks you won't notice. She checks your social media more frequently during significant dates. Your birthday, holidays you used to celebrate together, anniversaries she pretends don't matter anymore. The silence isn't absence, it's presence in disguise. But silence isn't the only leak. Her pride will soon start performing. She suddenly glows up for an audience of one. Within weeks of the breakup, she transforms. New haircut, new wardrobe, new fitness routine. The gym selfies multiply like evidence in a court case. The career updates flow like press releases. Her social media becomes a highlight reel of self-improvement and success. She's not just moving on. She's advertising how spectacularly she's moving on. But notice the timing. The glow-up intensifies right around your birthday, your promotion, your new relationship announcement. Her transformation isn't random. It's reactive. She's not improving for herself. She's competing with your happiness. Every achievement she posts is a message written specifically for you. Look what you lost. Look how much better I am without you. The psychology is competitive regret masked as self-improvement. She's trying to win the breakup by proving she's winning at life. The new body, new job, new confidence. It's all designed to make you question whether letting her go was a mistake. She wants you to see her success and feel loss, doubt, maybe even jealousy. Watch for the overcompensation, the gym posts that never happened when you were together, the career ambitions that suddenly appeared after you left, the confidence that seems just a little too bright, too consistent, too perfectly timed. She becomes the woman she thinks you wanted, but only after you're gone. The performance includes strategic photo choices, the angles that highlight her best features, the locations that suggest an exciting, fulfilling life, the captions that mention growth, healing, discovering herself, all coded messages about how the breakup was actually a blessing that freed her to become this amazing person. But when the glow-up stops performing and starts peeking for your reaction, that's when you'll see the desperation beneath the confidence. She finds reasons to reappear casually. The messages start small and innocent. Did you ever find that book I borrowed? Your mail is still coming here. Found this old photo, thought you might want it. Every contact has a legitimate excuse, a practical reason that has nothing to do with missing you, but the excuses become more creative and frequent over time. These aren't accidents. They're emotional fishing expeditions disguised as practical communication. She's testing the waters to see how you respond, whether you're angry, whether you miss her, whether there's an opening for more contact. Each innocent message is a probe into your current emotional state and availability. The psychology is disguised longing wrapped in plausible deniability. She wants connection without vulnerability, contact without confession. The practical excuse gives her cover to reach out while maintaining the story that she's completely moved on. If you respond positively, she might escalate. If you respond coldly, she can retreat behind the excuse. Notice how these messages often come late at night or during emotionally significant times, your birthday, holidays, anniversaries you used to share together. The timing isn't random. She's reaching out when her defenses are down or when she thinks you might be feeling nostalgic too. The excuses evolve over time. First, it's returning belongings. Then it's forwarding mail. Then it's asking about mutual friends. Eventually it becomes, I was just thinking about you, disguised as, I hope you're doing well. Each message is a test, a gentle probe to see if the door is completely closed or just mostly closed. And when small talk turns into memory talk, the mask cracks deeper. But here's what most men never realize. She doesn't miss you. She misses the version of herself that existed with you. She talks about the past like a movie. The casual contact evolves into nostalgia. She mentions that restaurant you both loved, the one she used to complain about. References inside jokes that used to annoy her but now seem charming. Brings up vacations, anniversaries, moments that were ordinary when they happened but now feel precious in retrospect. This is nostalgia as emotional bridge, memory as manipulation. She's trying to reconnect by reminding you both of when things were good. The memories become safe territory where she can express affection without admitting current feelings. She can say she misses those times without saying she misses you. Notice how she romanticizes moments that weren't romantic at the time. The fight you had that somehow becomes funny now. The stress you both felt that becomes an adventure in her retelling. She's rewriting history to support her current emotional needs, editing out the bad parts and highlighting the good ones. The psychology is complex and calculated. She's testing whether you remember things the same way, whether you value the same moments, whether there's shared emotional ground to build on. She's also trying to remind you of your best selves together, hoping to activate your own nostalgia and soften your resistance to contact. She'll mention specific details that only you would remember. The song that was playing in the car that day. The joke you made that made her laugh. The way you looked at her in that moment. These aren't random memories. They're carefully chosen emotional triggers designed to make you feel the connection you once shared. The conversations become longer, more detailed, more frequent. She wants to live in the past because the past is where she was happy with you. The present is where she has to face the reality of her choice to leave. But memory is only half the confession. The other half is jealousy. She's suddenly interested in your love life. The questions come through mutual friends, disguised as casual conversation. How's he doing? Becomes, is he seeing anyone? Her casual interest in your well-being shifts to specific curiosity about your romantic status. She's not asking because she's happy for you. She's asking because she needs to know where she stands in your emotional hierarchy. This is jealousy disguised as casual interest, possessiveness, masquerading as concern. She wants to know if she's been replaced, if someone else is getting the attention that used to be hers, if you've moved on faster than she has. Your dating life becomes a measure of her own worth and the significance of what you shared. Watch for the patterns in her information gathering. She asks mutual friends, but pretends she doesn't care about the answer. She stalks the social media profiles of women you're tagged with, studying their photos like a detective looking for clues. She makes comments like, "I hope you're happy," that sound supportive but feel hollow and forced. The psychology reveals itself in her reaction to your answers. If you're single, she feels relieved but won't admit it. It means she's still significant in your emotional landscape. If you're dating, she feels threatened but pretends to be fine. It means she's being replaced and forgotten. Your romantic status becomes more important to her than her own, which tells you everything about her real emotional state. She might be dating someone new, but she's more concerned with who you're dating. She might claim to be happy, but she's measuring her happiness against your romantic success. The jealousy leaks through in subtle ways. She'll mention how happy she is for you while asking probing questions about your new relationship. She'll compare herself to your new partner without directly stating the comparison. She'll fish for information about whether you're serious, whether it's just casual, whether you've introduced her to your family. And when jealousy grows too heavy, it transforms into defensive performance. She overexplains her happiness. Her social media becomes a manifesto of contentment, a dissertation on how amazing her new life is. Every post is about peace, growth, healing, freedom, self-discovery. The captions get longer and more detailed about how amazing her new life is, how much she's learned, how grateful she is for the experience of leaving you. She's not just happy, she's aggressively, defensively, performatively happy. But over-explanation always reveals insecurity. People who are genuinely content don't need to constantly prove it to the world. The more she insists she's better off, the more she's trying to convince herself as much as convince you. Authentic happiness doesn't require this much documentation and explanation. Notice the timing of these happiness posts. They often follow your social media activity, your success announcements, your relationship updates. Her joy becomes reactive rather than authentic. She's not celebrating her life. She's competing with yours, measuring her contentment against your apparent contentment. The psychology is narrative building disguised as gratitude journaling. She's creating a story about how the breakup was the best thing that ever happened to her, how she's discovered herself, how she's never been happier. But the story requires constant reinforcement because it's not entirely true, and she knows it. Watch for the forced quality in her expressions, the smiles that don't reach her eyes in photos, the quotes about independence that feel rehearsed rather than felt, the laughter that sounds a little too loud, a little too long, a little too performed for the camera. The happiness becomes a brand she has to maintain. Every post has to support the narrative. Every photo has to prove the point. Every caption has to reinforce the story that leaving you was the right choice and she's thriving because of it. But soon, that performance breaks into something more vulnerable and revealing. And that's how regret hides, not in tears, but in imitation and overcompensation. She randomly apologizes, but not for what matters. The messages come months later, usually late at night or during difficult moments in her life when her defenses are down. I've been thinking about us. I hope you're okay. I'm sorry for how things ended. The apologies are vague, careful, designed to test the waters without admitting real wrongdoing or taking genuine responsibility. This is guilt management disguised as emotional maturity. She's not apologizing for the specific things that hurt you. The lies, the betrayals, the cruel words, the way she handled the breakup. She's apologizing for the general messiness of the situation, which allows her to seem accountable while maintaining her version of events. Notice what she doesn't apologize for. She's sorry things ended badly, but not sorry for why they ended badly. She regrets the pain you both felt, but not the choices she made that caused that pain. The apology gives her emotional relief without requiring real confrontation with her behavior or genuine change. The psychology is pressure release disguised as reconciliation. The guilt has been building, and these partial apologies let her feel better without truly making amends. She gets the emotional benefit of apologizing without the vulnerability of real accountability or the risk of having to change. These apologies are also tests, emotional reconnaissance missions. She's checking whether you're still angry, whether there's forgiveness available, whether the door is completely closed or just mostly closed. Your response tells her whether there's hope for reconciliation or whether she needs to accept that it's truly over. The timing of these apologies is strategic. They come when she's struggling in her new life, when the grass isn't as green as she expected, when the freedom isn't as fulfilling as she imagined. The apology is often followed by subtle hints about her current situation, fishing for information about whether you'd be open to reconnection. And if she's apologizing, one more step is inevitable, the final revelation that exposes everything. She pretends she's over you, while mirroring your moves. This is the most telling sign, and the one she's least aware of consciously. She starts dating someone who looks eerily like you. Same build, same coloring, same style. She picks up hobbies you loved that she used to dismiss. She visits places you used to go together, but with other people. She's creating a parallel life that shadows yours without acknowledging the connection. The psychology is unconscious emotional imitation, replacement therapy disguised as personal growth. She's trying to recreate the feelings she had with you without admitting she misses those feelings. The new guy has your build, your sense of humor, your interests. The new activities mirror your passions. She's attempting to replace you with a version of you she can control. Watch for the details that reveal the pattern. She suddenly loves hiking when she used to hate being outdoors. She starts listening to music you introduced her to, the songs she used to skip. She orders dishes you always recommended, visits coffee shops you discovered together. She's not discovering new things. She's rediscovering you through other experiences. This mirroring reveals that she hasn't moved on from you. She's tried to bring you with her into her new life through imitation and substitution. She's dating your shadow, living your interests, visiting your places. Her new life isn't independent from yours. It's dependent on the template you created together. The most heartbreaking part is that she probably doesn't realize she's doing it. The choices feel natural to her because they're connected to feelings that felt natural. She thinks she's moving forward when she's actually circling back to you through every decision, every relationship, every new experience. Her new partner becomes a replacement player in a game you're no longer playing. Her new hobbies become ways to feel close to you without admitting she misses you. Her new places become shrines to what you shared, visited with different people, but experienced through the same emotional lens. Because when she mirrors your life instead of living hers, regret isn't gone. It's just wearing different clothes, speaking through different choices, hiding in plain sight behind the illusion of moving forward. She'll never say it directly, not because she doesn't feel it, but because admitting it would shatter the story she built to survive leaving you. So she stays silent, scrolling through your digital ghost, not to remember you, but to see if you've finally forgotten her first.